Chapter 3. Abandoning belief in cleanness. Assertion. Though the body's nature is suffering, it gains pleasure from satisfaction through the experience of attractive objects. Thus the use of such objects is appropriate. Answer. Having enjoyed things fully during one's youth and then amassed wealth, it does not follow that one will later turn to religious practices when free from attachment to such things. Regardless of the amount of time spent, be it aeons, one will not come to an end of the objects one craves by reaching their limit, for there is none. Though a bad physician who is incapable of healing gives treatment, his efforts are fruitless. Your exertion to satisfy the body with pleasure is similarly fruitless. It is like the following analogy: a monkey wearing a leopard skin is a source of constant anxiety to other monkeys. Just as they cannot tell how long this anxiety will last, those who make use of sensual objects cannot set a limit regarding how much is needed to satisfy them.
Assertion. Just as thirst disappears after drinking sufficient water, those who are satisfied by sensual pleasure will not crave things. Answer. An earthworm never stops craving the earth on which it subsists. Similarly, human beings indulging in the things they crave are not only not satisfied by them, their longing for sensual pleasure keeps growing. Indulgence in sensual pleasure makes desire stronger because it nurtures the seed. How can people swept away on a tide of desire experience satisfaction? They are like deer tormented by thirst. In a dry, stony place, with the sun beating down on them from a cloudless sky, thirsty deer see the mirage of a river and, thinking they have found water, run toward it eagerly. But their thirst, far from being quenched, will only increase. Similarly, how can those who do not realize that sensual pleasures are like a mirage, but think of them as real and seek them, overcome disturbing attitudes?
Objection. Even if pointing out the above-mentioned disadvantages can stop one desiring ordinary women, it cannot stop desire for women whose appearance and behavior are exceptionally beautiful. Answer. What use is this perfect woman with her beautiful appearance and behavior to you who lust for a woman's body? It is inappropriate to feel particularly attracted to her, since the unclean part of all women stinks and constantly drips of its own accord. It is a sewer for the body's filth, and like a lavatory readily receives the filth emptied into it by many people. Except to erroneous perception, there is not the least difference of good or bad regarding the sensation of intercourse with this cesspit-like dark filth. Since a woman's appearance may also be enjoyed by other men and even by dogs, crows and so forth, it is unreasonable to feel particularly attracted by beauty. It is like the following analogy: an unattractive woman's husband told her she was ugly-looking. She replied that ugly or good-looking, when it came to sexual intercourse there was no difference. More about the analogies may be found in Candrakirti's commentary.
Her husband, however, did not understand what she meant, so she put cooked peas into different bowls and placed them before him when it was time to eat. He asked her, "What is all this about?" She answered, "I've put the peas into nice-looking bowls." "What's the difference?" "It's just the same with intercourse," she replied. A certain man saw someone else's wife and lusted to have intercourse with her. One of his friends later told him that the woman he wanted was there but that he should not speak to her, as she was a modest woman of good caste. In the dark he lay with the woman, who was his own wife, and having thoroughly enjoyed himself, claimed no woman could equal her. For what reason does it follow that an unintelligent and misguided person like you will only be attracted to someone beautiful? It does not, for if beautiful women were the cause of desire, it would never arise toward others, but desire arises toward ugly women too. Confusion alone causes desire. Just as grandma appeals to grandpa, any man who finds a woman attractive feels satisfied with her. Even dogs, crows, and the like share this desire for their own mates. It is like the evil spirits who were prejudiced about the attractiveness of their wives, and, arguing about it, went to ask a monk whose was the best looking. He said to them, "The one you find most attractive is the best looking."
Assertion. A captivating woman is hard to find, and since finding one is remarkable, it is reasonable to desire her. Answer. When this woman, every part of whom seems lovely to you, was common to all before she met you, how can finding what is common to all astonish you? It is absurd. It is like King Udayana's amazement at his discovery of a woman who was common property. Assertion. Although desire for women in general is inappropriate, it is reasonable to be attracted to a woman with good qualities, such as an honest nature. Answer. When those with good qualities seem attractive and a cause for desire, while the opposite, those with faults, seem the reverse and a cause for aversion, desire for those with only good qualities is nevertheless unreasonable, for in the same person both faults and good qualities occur successively, and neither faults nor good qualities alone persist. When someone first has good qualities and later faults, which is true? If one is true, the other must be false. Thus both desire and aversion are definitely inappropriate. It is like the following analogy: one feels happy enjoying a good meal but unhappy going to the lavatory. It does not follow that only a woman with good qualities, because she conforms to one's ideas, is a cause for desire, for one sees that a fool's desire arises not only toward those with good qualities but also toward those with faults. How can the desire of those involved in it without good qualities as reason be prevented by reason of the absence of such good qualities? The shameless are not consistent. It is like the analogy of a sexually abnormal Brahmin woman who cried because she did not experience the pleasure other women enjoy.
Assertion. Women commit suicide when their husbands die, but men are not like that. Therefore it is reasonable to form a relationship with a woman who desires one. Answer. A woman does not desire one alone. As long as she has not experienced the taste of other men, she will remain with you and be loving, but once she experiences the taste of others, she may even reject you. Therefore, as with a bad disease, since women must always be kept from opportunity in the form of other men, they are not to be trusted. It is like the following analogy of a Brahmin woman who did wrong with a man who was interested in her. A certain man was interested in a Brahmin woman who told her husband that she had been approached and was frightened. She said she would tell him if the man came again. When he came and did wrong, she felt desire for him and did not tell her husband. Assertion. Texts on social conventions recommend indulgency in sensual pleasure during youth, thus it is acceptable.